Recording. Hey guys, I'm Carl.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're Adventures of Carlienne. And to continue with our Cherry Blossom series, we wanted to share all our favorites about Osaka.
Let's go. One of our favorite spots in Osaka is the Osaka Castle. Not necessarily for the castle itself, but during the cherry blossom season, there's a lot of them around the castle grounds. Yeah, one of our biggest tips is to make your way straight to the castle first and kind of take a look-see through that and the inner grounds. And then, you know, when the crowds start to come, you can make your way outside and visit like all of the like groves and the gardens outside, because then there's more space and you won't have to fight the crowds.
Get there before the loads of tour buses come through, because they start herding them through the castle gates.
It's like herds of cattle.
You got like children in school field trips, and then us who went there a little earlier right before they got there and enjoyed it pretty much to ourselves. We did go inside. It's a pretty neat museum. There's a lot of stairs, no elevator, so FYI.
The one thing though is that inside there are placards, but not everything is translated. So unless you're able to read Japanese, or if you opt for like a guided tour or something, you might kind of feel a little bit left out on the information there.
So our next favorite place is the Osaka Aquarium, because it is one of the largest aquariums in the world.
One of the neatest features is sort of the main large tank, which is center, and you get to work your way all the way around from the bottom to the top, and you kind of see the different levels and where which fish like to hang out where and stuff like that. So that's kind of neat. They also have lots of penguins and seals and dolphins, so really cool. Our next favorite is the Sumiyoshi Taisha, or shrine. It's south of Osaka, so it's a little bit out of the way. But it was one of our favorites because it's so quiet and so peaceful, and you don't have to get there super early because the crowds don't really get there for a while. So you can really enjoy the place to yourself. There's a giant red bridge, which is kind of the icon. But if you go past that and you kind of wander around, there's some nice like pathways or little nooks and stuff for pictures or just enjoying the peace.
They have this section where it's like, there's like these flags, and you can act like you're like an anime running through the flags like this.
I totally forgot that we did that.
So one of the coolest things to do while you're in Osaka is actually not in Osaka, but because of the location, a lot of people base themselves in Osaka and travel to Nara. So Nara is where you have all these like wild deer, and you can feed them and everything. They'll have like these wafer cookies on sale, like these little vendors, and these deer will like bow and then they'll take the cracker from you. But some of them are fairly aggressive and they'll just keep following you.
Yeah, so for those who are a little timid, I would say try to go somewhere that's a little quieter where you can find one deer by itself.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like where you start, because if you have a group of them, then they will swarm you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We also, depend on where you start. I think we started at the shrine side, so the Kasuga side or something, because we didn't know where to get off the bus. We did appreciate starting on that side because it was quieter, versus if you head towards like the big Buddha Tōdai-ji, the giant Buddha, that gets like super crowded, but there's not so much deer there. So if you kind of want the quiet deer experience, we recommend starting on like the south and southeast side of Nara.
For sure.
If you're looking for a lunch spot in Nara, we definitely recommend Tonkatsu Ganko because it has delicious tonkatsu. Be aware that there will be a wait though because it is pretty popular, but if you shoot for sort of like 2 or 3-ish, then it should be bearable. Another thing to do in Osaka is shopping. It's a little like LA in that sense, I guess. But there are a lot of great boutiques, neighborhoods to go shopping around. And we literally spent like 4 out of our 6 days in Osaka for this guy shopping.
As you know, I'm a cook and I was shopping for knives and I went from place to place looking for the right knife for me.
Back and forth.
Yes, back and forth, because you know, you gotta get that right. It chooses you, you know?
The wand chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter.
But one of my favorite places to shop for a knife is Tower Knives in Osaka. And the reason why I like it there is because the staff is like super knowledgeable about everything. You know, they do get a lot of tourists and they do stock things that most tourists will want to buy. So maybe like the professional chef, I mean, you'll probably find something there, but it's more of a limited selection. My first time trying a Japanese knife, like carbon steel, everything, trying to cut through not trying, but like easily cutting through a carrot, tomato, like with one hand. And you know, it was a really good experience. And you know, they engrave it for you. And yeah, and another place that I like to shop for a knife is JIKKO. And JIKKO has 2 different places. One in Sakai City, which is kind of their headquarters, which I really recommend that you go to. And then one in...
It's like a showroom.
Yeah. And
in one of the malls.
In one of the malls. And that's okay if you like crunch for time, but really try to make the trek out to the Sakai City location because you'll see the guys at work. Their showroom is freaking gorgeous. And, you know, I really like all of their knives as well. So... yeah, I pretty much went back and forth to find like my main chef knife, and I ended up getting one from Osaka Tower Knives, but I went to JIKKO and bought like my Honeski knife and basically a baby brother of my chef knife. Yeah, so we spent 4 days doing that, which is why we need to go back to Osaka. But other shopping things, if you're not interested so much in just knives. We'll make a separate video on that, so stay tuned. But yeah.
So basically, center of Osaka is kind of like Namba Station. It's like the station itself is like mall, and like you can find anything you want pretty much in that area. Just outside of the station is also the Dotonbori area. It's a little district that's like entertainment, a lot of food, and also like your more franchised shops like H&M or something like that.
H&M, Under Armour,
Disney,
just like,
yeah,
everything. You can also see the Glico Man, which is very famous over there, so that's another attraction to check out. It's always busy, so there's not really a good time to go.
I don't know if it's on the street, but there's also really closely in that area is that the longest shopping street ever. That I can't say it, guys, so I'm just gonna put it up. But that's like, be prepared. It's really long and you'll probably have to like pop into a cafe and take breaks or something because that's what we did. It's super overwhelming, but it's shopaholic's dream, I guess. Another great way to spend all of your money in Japan is eating, which is our favorite pastime.
And present time and future time. So one of our favorite places to eat, like Wagyu beef, Kobe beef, and all them kind of beefs is Yakiniku M.
It's a bit pricey, but this way you can try and actually know what cuts you're getting. And of course, as a yakiniku, you're gonna have to cook it yourself. So if you're not comfortable cooking high-grade meat or like worried about that, then the other option would be to do like Kushikatsu, which is also in the same area. We went to Daruma Namba, so near the Namba area. And there it's like deep fried in a really light batter and on skewers. So if you're more of wanting like that crunchy texture and just a little taste of like Wagyu or some other high grade beef, that's a good spot to go to. Both places get really, really crowded. Yakiniku M, I would say you need a reservation for, right? Another splurge we recommend is a really special omurice. You'll find omurice anywhere in Japan, and it could be like one of those like very casual dining affairs. But if you're looking for a very unique and delicious, mind-blowing tasting experience, you should go to Muguni. It's a Western cafe, but they're known basically for their special omurice, where they give you different sauces, and the sauces are everything.
One of the greatest things to eat in Japan is fluffy pancakes, and we ate it at
Micasadeco&Cafe. There's a number of cafes that do this Japanese souffle style pancake, but we really like Micasadeco because of the service. I think it's all women.
Yeah.
And it's just super cute little space, and they're just so friendly and so nice. So definitely check it out. They even do like latte art, and I mean, they had a seasonal strawberry. Oh, so good. And you just shake the plate and you watch it like wiggle and jiggle.
Just wiggle and jiggles, man. It's so good.
It's the best way to start your morning.
Or evening. So another thing that we recommend doing and eating, or tasting, I guess now, is doing a sake tasting at Shimada Shoten.
It's kind of this unassuming liquor store up top, but then you get to go into like this hole in the floor. And
It's not really a hole. There's steps. It feels like you're going to like a very secret meeting.
Yeah. So how it works is you pay per glass, and you're allowed to just kind of tell them what you're looking for or ask for the recommendations. Their English is pretty good, but if you have an idea of what you're looking for, then that's probably best. They also offer food, and it's like you pay per plate as well. So pretty neat experience, and we definitely took some home. Another thing you have to try in Japan is ramen, but there's a really unique spot that does clam-based broth ramen, and we would have never gone there if I hadn't gotten my hair cut, and he recommended the spot for us because they don't speak English there and there's no menus, so he actually wrote it out on like a card for me so I could bring it there and we could go in and have the ramen. I think the place is called Kusoo Yaji, but it's written in hiragana, so I don't know if I'm reading that correctly, but we'll put it up, of course, in the links. But it's such a nice broth. It's so different to have, you know, a clam broth ramen versus the typical like really rich and heavy pork or miso.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, and their noodles are also really different. And we sat down and we were eating, and we just saw people getting other things, and we were just, we have to come back here and like figure out what else is on this menu. It's definitely worth it. It's also worth the trek because it's a little bit up north past anything you might want to do normally. But I promise you it's worth it. Just bring a picture or a little card with it written in Japanese, and you're good to go.
Go to our blog. We have a picture of it. Take that picture, show them that, and that's what you want.
And that's it for us for this round of favorites in Osaka. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, we appreciate the likes, the subscribes, and the follows. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.